Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Of course, the Diamond K Show on OnFireBroadcasting.com, the DiamondKShow.com. So the Super Bowl is over, and everyone knows that the Eagles earned a very lopsided win, 40-22. Over the two-time defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles led 24-0 at halftime. That is the biggest halftime deficit of Patrick Mahomes' career. He had the worst game of his football career, and it did not let up in the second half. I thought that when the Chiefs went in the locker room, they were going to get this pep talk and they were going to come out swinging, but they did not. And for the record, I was rooting for the Eagles. Okay, I was rooting for the Eagles. It was a dominant performance by the Eagles. I guess Kansas City was so focused on Saquon Barkley that they just couldn't see anything else. The Chiefs offense managed just 23 yards and one first down in the first half. Mahomes sacked 6 times, forcing 3 turnovers. It was lopsided. A lot of folks lost money on this one. In NFL, while they made a lot of money, their hearts were with the Kansas City Chiefs. They wanted something else to happen, and they really tried. But historically, there have been more blowouts in Super Bowl history, wins by 17 points or more, than close games, wins by 4 points or less. This Eagle win belongs in the former category with this 18-point margin. Man, the parties in Philly was probably crazy. Now, the 2025 Super Bowl did not make the top 5 biggest blowouts in NFL history, thanks to the multiple late scores by the Chiefs. Here's the thing. It's like after a certain point, Philly was like, oh, whatever y'all want to do, y'all can't catch up. And so they let them get some of those points. It is the second biggest margin of victory in the last decade. Super Bowl 55, when Tampa Bay beat Kansas City 31-9. You remember that? There was a lot of discussion about that during the game. Tom Brady was sitting there like he was giggling. He's laughing like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because there was a whole lot of talk like Mahomes is the greatest. He's the bestest. He's the bestest ever. And now they rolling that back a little bit, saying like, slow down. I mean, he cool, but he ain't all that. No, he's still good. But I think that the Eagles really exposed the Chiefs. So if you think about it, most of their wins during the season, they barely won. And when they got in the arena with a top-tier defense and a very capable and able quarterback, it just didn't work out for them. It did not work out for him. But there are a lot of victories. So, Mahomes can say there's some other people that got beat worse than you. Super Bowl 24, San Francisco and Denver. San Francisco defeated them 55-10. So you have that. Super Bowl 20, Chicago 46, New England 10. That was 36 points. So, that was, you wasn't that bad. All right. Super Bowl 27, Dallas, 52 points, put up 52 points on the Buffalo Bills, who got 17 points. So that was a beat down. Super Bowl 48, Seattle got 43 and Denver 8. That was pretty bad. And Super Bowl 22, Washington got 42 and Denver 10 points. So, there has never, for folks that are wondering, there has never, ever been a shutout in the Super Bowl. The fewest points scored by a team in Super Bowl history is 3, and that happened twice. Miami Dolphins lost to the Dallas Cowboys 24-3 in Super Bowl 6, way back in the day. 1972. And the Los Angeles Rams lost to the Patriots 13-3 in Super Bowl 53. Y'all remember that snore fest, right? Yeah. So a lot of folks, I guess happy. Some folks sad about the Super Bowl. But it's one of those things. So we had a victory for the Philadelphia Eagles, 40-22 over the Kansas City Chiefs. And I thought it was a good game, but a lot of folks, kind of checked out after. I mean, it was such a blowout from the standpoint of it was lopsided. It wasn't competitive most of the time, and you could see where it was heading. Now, projections as far as viewership, it says that 126 million folks watched. That is where the projections are right now. Fox projecting that U.S. viewership averaging about 126 million viewers. The game televised by Fox, and then their Spanish channels, and also streamed on Tubi for the first time. So the Nielsen ratings were there, and so I guess this is a win. This was an increase, and some of the increase can be attributed to the change in the way viewers are counted. So this is the first year that Nielsen is measuring out-of-home viewers for all states but Hawaii and Alaska. It was previously the top 44 media markets, which covered about 65% of the country. The ratings also include Nielsen's data from smart TVs, along with cable and satellite set-top boxes. So after 2 straight years of close Super Bowls, Sunday's game was decided in the first half. And like I said, Philly was leading 24-0 at that point. So, of course, Taylor Swift was in attendance. Not a lot of camera time on Taylor Swift, though. And then when they did show Taylor Swift, it was like boo, boo. There were some boos. They was booing her. Donald Trump was in the building also. Trump is the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl, while Swift's relationship with tight end Travis Kelce keeps the pop star's fans interested in the NFL. But she didn't get a lot of camera time. She was in there. Ice Spice was in there with her. And this is also the third straight year that the Super Bowl averaged more than 100 million viewers, after a period when 4 or 5 games before 2023 had fallen short of that number because of cord cutting. That included 95.2 million for Super Bowl 2021 between Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Ironically, which was the game's lowest TV-only average since 2007. So Super Bowl commercials, they were $8 million. And I mean, they were cool. You know what I mean? It was cool. It wasn't anything that was exciting, like super exciting. There were some cool commercials. But I just remember a time when the Super Bowl commercials were, they were just a bigger deal. And maybe we're talking about a different time, right? I don't know. Are we going to get back to that point? I mean, because it's a commercial, right? They're advertising something. But obviously, the Super Bowl halftime show is something that folks have really, gotten into. It was not always a big deal. You know what I mean? It wasn't always a big deal. There have been some hits. There have been some misses. Right? Definitely been some misses. But they've been doing the halftime show for a minute, but it wasn't always like a super big deal. But one thing that the NFL tries to do is have a little something for everybody when it comes to the Super Bowl. Some folks are there for the spectacle of the sport. Some people want to see the game, right? Some folks are watching just because it's a, it's a celebration. It's that big game feel, and the performers, the spectacle, the pomp and circumstance. Some people are into that part. But at the end of the day, it comes down to football. There are very expensive ads, as we said. Now, the Super Bowl halftime show is a very big deal. It's a mini concert that most people are watching. In fact, really paying attention to. And, depending on the superstar that's headlining the show, there have been people that have been on the show I wasn't that interested in, and I was not paying attention. And then there have been folks where I am glued to the TV watching. So normally there are superstar artists that headline the show. Fans are often treated to fun performances, but there have been some performances that were not that good. Some generate memes, jokes. Kendrick Lamar performed at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime. And so they have been performers since the first one in 1967. The first performers actually were marching bands. So in 1967, they had the Grambling State and University of Arizona marching bands. 1968, the Grambling State marching band. 1969 was Florida A&M marching band. And so by the time they got to the 70s, they said, you know what? We're going to do something a little bit different. Carol Channing and Southern University Band, Al Hurt, and Lionel Hampton and Doc Severinsen. All right, so that's what he did in 1970. And then they went down this road of mixing the marching bands with another performer, and interesting. So 71 is Florida A&M marching band, Anita Bryant, the Southeast Missouri State Marching Band. Now, if they were doing stuff like this now, it has like a college feel, right? But 1972, they switched it up. Ella Fitzgerald, Carol Channing, Al Hurt, and the U.S. Marine Corps Drill Team. That's in 1972. 1973, Andy Williams, Woody Herman Band, and the University of Michigan Marching Band. 1974, they tried something different again, or let's say this, they went back to basics. The University of Texas Marching Band, 1974. 1975, the Grambling State Marching Band and Mercer Ellington came through, and they did their halftime thing. 1976, a tribute to America's bicentennial, Up With the People, and some various performers. That was a big year, big deal, the bicentennial. Now, 1977, the United States Unified School District's All-City Band and some Disney performers. So, as you can see, back in the 70s, a far cry from what it is now, the spectacle part. 1978, Tyler Apache Bells, Peter Fontaine, and Al Hurt. 1979, Ken Hamilton, and some Caribbean bands. So then as we got to the 80s, you thinking that they're going, we got to get this spectacle going. Nope. They went back to that marching band thing. 1980, the Grambling State Marching Band, Up With the People, and some various performers. So it's still that mixture of what I call that college feel, because you got the marching band and some performers. By 1981, there was Helen O'Connell and the Southern University Marching Band. 1982, Up With the People returned and some various performers. So 1983 brought the Los Angeles Super Drill Team. 84 was the University of Florida Marching Band, Florida State Marching Band. 1985 was the United States Air Force Marching Band and Tops in Blue. So as you can see, by the 80s, it was still like this bland, vanilla kind of thing. 1986, Up With the People returned again, and there were various performers. 1987, the Grambling State Marching Band, George Burns, Mickey Rooney, Southern California High School Drill Team, and dancers. So it's not something that I don't know. It's not something that's really holding people's attention. I mean, the marching bands are cool and some of the performers are cool, but it was something that if you're watching at home, a lot of times people are eating, turning the channel, bathroom break. They're doing all kind of stuff. It's not holding folks' attention. 1988, it was Chubby Checker and the Rockettes. So this was not something that, I remember watching the Super Bowl as a kid, but these performances never stuck out. Some of these. 1989, the South Florida area dancers and the magician Elvis Presto. All right. And so it's not holding folks' attention, really. And by 1990, they are on the same stuff. Peter Fontaine, Doug Kershaw, and Irma Thomas, right? This is a snooze fest. But then they try to pick things up a little bit. 1991, they had the group New Kids on the Block. So folks were, excited about that, I guess. That was better than what they had been doing. 1992 was Gloria Estefan, Brian Botano, and Dorothy Hamill. So they back on that same stuff. That was a low point. And Living Color had a halftime show in 92 that just knocked Gloria Estefan out the box and that whole thing. And a lot of other companies were having things where they turn the channel, we'll keep a countdown on for you so you know when to turn back to the game kind of thing. And then the NFL said, you know what? Y'all want to do us like that, because millions and millions and millions of people turned and didn't even watch the halftime show in 92. So they came back hard in 1993. What did they do in 1993? They brought the king. They brought Michael Jackson to do the halftime show, one of the best halftime shows ever, 1993. Now, 1994, they said, as Michael and everything, but the country music folks wanted their piece. So 1994, they brought Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, Winona, and Naomi Judd in 1994. 1995, Tony Bennett, Patti LaBelle, Arturo Sandoval, and the Miami Sound Machine. 1996, you know what I mean? Diana Ross comes through and she shut it down. 1997, the Blues Brothers. Who are we talking about? Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, James Belushi, James Brown, and ZZ Top. So that was an interesting one. 1998, they went for the I guess I want to say kind of soul, right? Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, Queen Latifah, and they brought them back. The Grambling State Marching Band came back 1998. 1999, Stevie Wonder, Gloria Estefan, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and a tap dancer, Savion Glover, I'm sorry. So you had that. That was 1999. By the time 2000 came, this thing is all over the place, right? You don't know what you get, genre blending, just artists is all over the place. 2000, Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, and Enrique Iglesias and Tony Braxton in 2000. That was a lot. 2001, Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J, and Nelly. 2002 was U2. 2003, Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting. Now, 2004, that was a memorable one. That was Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Justin Timberlake, and Kid Rock. So we remember that was the wardrobe malfunction. 2005, Paul McCartney. 2006, the Rolling Stones. 2007, the Florida A&M Marching Band made their triumphant return. And of course, one of the greatest of all time, Prince, performed 2007 Super Bowl. 2008, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. 2009, Bruce Springsteen, The Boss, and the E Street Band. So by the time we got to the 2010, they did something that, threw something for the folks that are fans of The Who. 2010, 2011, Black Eyed Peas, Usher, and Slash. 2012, Madonna, Nicki Minaj, MIA, LMFAO, and CeeLo Green. 2013, Beyonce featuring Destiny's Child. 2014, remember this? Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, y'all don't remember that? 2015, Katy Perry, Lenny Kravitz, and Missy Elliott. 2016, there was a mesh, Bruno Mars, Beyonce, and Coldplay. Lady Gaga in 2017, Justin Timberlake, 2018. 2019, Maroon 5, Travis Scott, and Big Boy. So we got to 2020, and it's definitely a spectacle at this point. It's definitely hits and misses. 2020 was J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin. 2021, my homie The Weeknd, he did his thing. 2022, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, Anderson .Paak. 2023, Rihanna ripped it. 2024, Usher. And 2025, Kendrick Lamar. So, been a lot of discussion, a lot of talk about the performance of Kendrick Lamar. And, it was something. I, for one, did not think that Kendrick Lamar should have been on the stage by himself. I didn't think that he had the catalog. I did not think that They Not Like Us. It's a big record, obviously. It's a good record. But it's a diss song, and I don't know. I definitely was not excited about seeing him on the stage. All right. I am a fan of his, but I am not I don't think he's the best artist ever. He's cool. He makes some good records. But there are a lot of rappers that make good records. Right. And so, I thought it was trendy to put him on there. Apple Music obviously going to put who they want to put up there. And Jay-Z has something to do with that, obviously. But I thought that they should have done a different artist. Needless to say, we've gone down the list from the beginning. They have not always done the biggest artists. It's always been obviously the preference of whoever's controlling the the entertainment, so to speak. Right? And so when you look at it like that, it was, I thought, a good performance. I thought that Kendrick Lamar looked at it like, this is my rap concert, and I'm going to do a performance. And if I went to a concert at any arena and I saw that performance, I would have enjoyed it. I did enjoy the performance, but I was underwhelmed. Now, yeah, there were messages and all that kind of stuff, and we can talk about that. But I think that at this point, we have tried to raise the bar to a certain level. I thought that Kendrick Lamar as an artist did not have the catalog to captivate the audience in that way. But you got some diehard Kendrick Lamar fans out there, right? And I thought that having Samuel Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam to introduce Kendrick Lamar, I thought that was cool. That was good. It set the tone, I suppose, at the New Orleans Caesars Superdome. Now, they were in New Orleans. I'm going to say this, and I've said it before. I would have much rather seen Lil Wayne on the stage. Let's say that Nicki Minaj came out, or the Big Timers, Juvenile. Like, you had something like that performing a wider range of records, of hit records. Because Kendrick Lamar did a lot of songs that people didn't know. I mean, they know Not Like Us, right? They knew that. And they know some of the newer songs, I suppose. But aside from Not Like Us, did he perform any classics? No. Now, I've gone down the list of performers since 1967, and there were people on that stage that were not superstars. Now, after the 1992 Super Bowl performance, halftime performance, they started bringing superstars on the stage, right? So Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, folks like that, right? And there was no question about the level, the caliber of the artist. Now, Kendrick Lamar, no doubt, is a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper. He's got bars, as they say, and he's also petty, right? He's petty, taking shots at Drake. Now, I've heard Charlemagne say this. I disagree with him. He says that Kendrick Lamar is bigger than They Not Like Us. I disagree. He's not bigger than that record. If there's no They're Not Like Us record, Kendrick Lamar is not on that stage by himself. It's not. Get out of here with that, okay? He was on the stage previously, and he was on the stage with a ensemble, Dr. Dre, Snoop, and others. He did not have a record big enough to be on stage by himself prior to this Drake diss record, right? And so Charlemagne thinks that he would have been on there regardless. No, he wouldn't have. Okay, he's only on there because of the massive success of this Drake diss record. Now, it's unfortunate for many reasons, because I don't think that there are any winners in it from the standpoint of Kendrick Lamar's career is going to be forever defined by a record that he did dissing Drake. They're forever linked in that way. And to me, there's a lot of ways we can go with this. So the song selection, I think that Kendrick has better records that he could have done. And, he did things the way he wanted to do it. And there were, dozens of dancers emerging from the Buick GNX, like clown car style. I mean, that was, I don't know. I don't know. So he launched in to, a bunch of songs and, Squabble Up. He did that. And for just under 13 minutes during the halftime show, which was sponsored by Apple Music and Rock Nation, he commanded the field. The dancers were good. There was a lot of imagery. The dancers were dressed in red, white, and blue and joined Kendrick Lamar, who was wearing some very... The jeans were interesting. They were kind of hip huggers and they kind of flared at the bottom. It was very distracting. But anyway, patriotic colors. And so there was this theme with Samuel Jackson, the Uncle Sam. Sam, Uncle Sam. All right. Labeling them too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. And he reminded Kendrick Lamar to play the game. There was a story. They were telling a story. Now, folks often would say, "Oh, you didn't get it. It was over your heads, too deep." They're saying stuff like that. But sometimes I think that people go too far to try to be clever. And sometimes when you try to be clever, sometimes you miss the mark and people don't understand what you were trying to communicate. But he did perform Humble, performed DNA, performed Man at the Garden, some other songs. And that was cool. You know what I mean? There was a lot of focus. Samuel Jackson's helping Kendrick tell this story. Kendrick launches into Peekaboo, and then he teased the performance of Not Like Us. And he said, I want to play their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. Kendrick told a woman dancer behind him, referencing Drake. And that's why I said the pettiness starts to kick in. And it's hard to say that Not Like Us is not a monster record. It's billion streams on Spotify, massive hit. It's the regional anthem for Los Angeles, a rallying cry for the community against cultural vultures, a diss track that won Kendrick Lamar the victory in a highly publicized feud with Drake. The song won at the Grammys. To me, he's won, right? But to me, it's overkill. Like, enough of it. What else do you have? The performance was cool. Now, leading up to the Super Bowl, there was a lot of controversy. Whether he's going to perform the song or whether he's not going to perform the song was a legitimate question. Kendrick levels some strong accusations against Drake in the lyrics. As we know, Drake sued Universal Music Group for defamation as a result of the song's popularity. Does the Super Bowl performance further complicate things? I don't know. Little was known about his performance ahead of time. There were things here and there. SZA on the stage was a very nice touch. I think that SZA's album is amazing. I think that she was a good addition. They're frequent collaborators. And what is the song that samples the Luther Vandross and the Cheryl Lynn? If This World Were Mine. I like that. I like that song. The duo is going to headline a 19-city North American tour this spring and this summer. That is cool. SZA was on stage for the performance of All the Stars and Luther, the aforementioned. And Jackson comes in, Samuel Jackson, and That's What America Wants, nice and calm. And then, like clockwork, Kendrick launches into Not Like Us. He did not say the word pedophile. And that, the crowd said it, obviously. DJ Mustard came out. Serena Williams spotted prominently crip walking along to the diss track, and there is obviously a former romantic connection between Drake and her. So people are like, "Oh, game over." Is it? I mean, okay, I suppose. To me, the bigger thing is so that was the biggest stage in U.S. sports, right? And that is cool. Like I said, Kendrick's no stranger to the Super Bowl stage. He performed there in 2022, and that is good, right? Rap music, he said, is still the most impactful genre to date. Kendrick said previously, and that's cool, and that's true. To me, I want to see him make some more hits that don't include dissing Drake. And I hope that this feud is over. I hope that Drake doesn't come out dissing him anymore. Drake is rumored to have an album coming with Party Next Door. He's also rumored to have a new solo project. So we'll see what happens on there. But I hope that the two of these artists, that this is done and you can move on. But it's just like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Kansas City lost the game, right? But then now we have next year or next season, and you start all over again. And so you got to move on. Hopefully these two artists move on, move forward, and do not stay in the gutter, dissing each other back and forth. I hope that they move on. I hope that we don't have another continuation of this feud because I don't want to see it no more. What else can they say that has not already been said? Not too much. Not too much. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads, right? Blue Sky at The Diamond K Show. Now, I did want to say this. Now, the Super Bowl is a billion-dollar spectacle with advertisers shelling out $8 million for a 30-second spot, 30-second commercial. Now, we're talking about Kendrick Lamar and the halftime show. Workers behind the halftime show, they are making as little as $12 an hour. Super Bowl is often sold as a boost to the host city, like an economic boom. But many of the jobs it creates are actually low wage gig work with no benefits. A job listing for the Super Bowl 69 halftime show crew advertised as $12 an hour for setting up and breaking down the elaborate stage. The role requires heavy lifting and includes 48 hours of work over 8 days, and workers don't get tickets to the game or the halftime show. The Super Bowl and the halftime show in particular are notorious for labor exploitation. Now, this comes from low-wage theft or even unpaid work. In 2016, the NFL scrapped plans to use unpaid halftime workers after a legal challenge in California. In 2019, 200 Atlanta Super Bowl workers went unpaid for 72-hour shifts. In 2022, dancers were initially asked to work unpaid for 72 hours before backlash forced the NFL to offer $15 an hour. Now, these are not high-paying jobs. According to sports ethics professor Michael Edwards, he told The Intercept, who first reported on this, the frontline staff are always going to be paid as low as management can get away with. The bottom line, at the end of the day, the Super Bowl's an economic impact, but it mostly is one that benefits corporations, not workers. Host cities often chase the prestige of having the Super Bowl in their city, but at what cost? But at what cost? Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Your man Diamond K in here. You need to get in touch with me. djdiamondk at gmail.com. Of course, on all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. And you can become a member today. Support the program, thediamondkshow.com. So it's been real. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe at youtube.com/djdiamondk.